Hola, hello.
Hello, Harold. How are you?
I'm good.
It's cold enough for you?
What's that?
Is it cold enough for you?
I'm in Costa Rica.
You're in Costa Rica. Good for
Yeah,
you.
it's very nice here, Costa Rica.
Looks nice. How long are you there for?
For the week, we got here Sunday to Sunday.
Very nice.
Have you ever been?
No,
Very nice. They're very accommodating to Jewish people. There's a frum community here. It's been here for many years, and
so
they have a lot of tourists, so they're set up to host
the Chabad has it?
Chabad, but there's been a shul here since after World War II.
Or
A
two?
lot of refugees came to Costa Rica. They couldn't get anywhere else.
Right.
So our
Okay.
mashgiach is a retired neurologist.
Really?
Yeah, from
Okay.
guy. Yeah,
Well,
from guy.
listen,
All his kids. He has three boys. They're all doctors. Uh, they all
and
trained in the U.S.
he was living there since after the war. What?
Yeah, yeah. His parents were Holocaust survivors, and they wanted to get out. The only place they could get to was Costa Rica. So fine, anything's better than Poland, they say.
Anything will do, right? Very nice. And the food's not a problem.
Food's not a problem. No, not a problem. It's yeah, interesting. I didn't realize when people tell me they've been coming here for years. I didn't even know it was
Yeah.
a thing. I know Panama. People go to Panama because there's tons of kosher food in Panama, but Costa Rica is also pretty well
Well,
established.
Trump is reclaiming Panama, so he'll be okay now.
Yeah, yeah, right next to yeah. So I'm sure they get stuff from Panama if necessary.
Hmm.
Uh
Okay. And the weather's good?
yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
It's like tropical weather?
it's yeah,
Or
it's like a Hawaii kind of. It's a little
Hawaii? Yeah.
humidity. Yeah, we went whitewater rafting today, which was fun.
Yeah, your kids are down there with you?
Yeah, my kids are here. Yeah, yeah, that's nice.
Okay, very good. Good, enjoy.
Yeshiva week is big. Everyone's like flying all over the world.
So the whole world's upside down with Yeshiva.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to Washington on Wednesday with grandkids.
Oh, that's nice. You're gonna see the new president.
Of course, of course.
I'm sure you have an appointment with him.
At least two.
You brought a big check or a bag of cash.
Cash. He doesn't want checks. Uh, he's a character and a half.
It's gonna be very entertaining, that's for sure.
Hello,
Hey, Mario.
Mario.
That was an interesting video. You sent the video?
which one?
You sent one about something with Israel, with the leftists and the right.
Yes,
Yeah, very interesting.
yeah.
Interesting analysis.
Did you watch the Trump taking over?
Just parts here and there. I was out most of the day.
He spoke 10 times the same thing,
Same thing, right? He kept on repeating himself. Something that took
Yeah.
10 minutes. Should have taken 10 minutes, took an hour.
but very mellow, the guy.
Yeah, they said he's a new Trump. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. He already signed 842 executive orders while he was being interviewed by Fox. He was
Yeah.
signing. So he said, what's this one for? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. What's this one for the
They put anything in front. Just sign, just sign.
Fill in the blanks later.
Did you
Yeah.
see how tall his son is, Harold?
He's like a giant, 6'7" or something. He's a kid.
Yeah, but serious. He's gonna be bald like his father. He's already has bald areas in the top.
Poker face.
She looked magnificent now in the ball.
Melania?
Oh, with a dress
Really?
to kill for.
So she doesn't need potato kugel?
No. She looked magnificent.
Yeah.
And
Maria,
they're holding hands all the time.
Oh, no, it's sweet.
Mario's jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sie ist ein Heiche, Mario. Ein bisschen zu heich für haar. Switch
And
off
they
the
make-
recorder. Mario, switch off the recorder. You know, don't.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, Ernie's calling me. Hello?
Mario, I have to restart my computer, so tell everybody I'm signing in right now, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, switch off and then you can switch on.
Something about his computer, whatever.
Yes,
Switch
it's
off
been
the
about money.
switch off the recorder for a minute.
Wow.
That this guy is getting away without ever having to face any justice.
I mean, he
Wow.
one-handedly just about destroyed
He
the world.
underhandedly kept funding the research in Wuhan through other means. He kept giving money to this other research facility that was then transferring the money to Wuhan,
But what was the purpose? What did he gain from all this?
because he's an advocate of this idea that you have to alter the viruses to see the effect so that we can prepare in case that happens. And it's idiotic. It's like saying, let's have an atomic bomb and then we'll study the effects of the atomic bomb on us. I mean, nonsense. And they kept telling him, other doctors, I mean, that's why he was so dead set against all these other guys, because they didn't want to play ball with him. And that's why, I mean, I think it's a real sad day for America that the guy got pardoned and didn't have to face the music at any point. But you're absolutely correct. When I saw that, Harold, I was thinking, you know, they're gonna make a big stink about January 6th. Meantime, they're not doing anything about the travesty that we just had.
Wow.
Unbelievable. The same thing is true about his family. The reason he had to pardon them is because they have data on them showing that they're all crooked. Absolutely. I mean, January 6th should have never happened, but I mean, the people that they put in jail, some of them are really
It's true
such-
that January 6th should have never happened, but they were talking about all the evidence that was destroyed. They never had that.
100%. And you can't go back and redo, and that's
Right.
terrible.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's why these people all had to be pardoned, because now that they have the DOJ, they could go back and restudy all of this stuff. And I mean, I don't think that that's good for the country, to be honest with you.
No.
So I think that these people are ultimately really corrupt. And I think that the January 6th committee should have never embarked on doing the things that they did. They should have punished the people that were criminal, but not some of these minor players that had just been in the government area for a period of time. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Is Ernie on?
I'm here.
yeah, Ernie's been on for the last 5 minutes or so.
No, that's okay. I'm here.
Raveni.
Lamed Gimel Lamed Beis. Correct? No, I'm sorry.
Dalit.
Lamed Dalet.
Lamadalid.
We're talking about, can the Eidim serve as the Dayanim? So Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda said yes. My time at Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda. The Amar Kra, Eid Echad lo yaneh b'nefesh lamuz. Lamuzu de'ena ona, v'leschus oina. That means the aid can participate in trying to be melabed schus for the accused, to try to make him innocent, not to make him chayiv, but he can get involved if he knows facts about his innocence. So what does Rabbanan say to that? Why does Rabbanan say that the aid cannot? Amrish Lakish, mishum demechzik kinogeh be'eduso. It looks like he's being a nogeh be'edus because you might say, oh, you know why he's intervening to say that the guy's innocent? Because if he's made chayiv, he could be put to death by an eid zoming. So he has a conflict of interest. V'Rabbanon hai lamus my darshbe. So what did the Rabbanon do with this drasha? Mukmile be'echad min talmidim. When the Bezdin sat, there were other Talmidei Chachamim there who could join in. Kedetanya, Amar echad min ha'edim yesh lilamed elav zchus. According to Chachamim, if one of the Edim say, "Oh, I know a fact that could get this guy off," minayin shein shomin lo Talmud lomer eid echad lo yaneh. The aides cannot speak up. Minayin lecha min talmidim. But if one of the talmidim speaks up, shomer yesh lilamed elav zchoiva. Now we accept the talmidim if they have something to say about the guy's innocence. We do not listen to him if he tries to be mechayiv. Keep track of all these various loopholes and details in civil procedure, which shows us how difficult it was to execute someone. All of these bending over backwards that people should come out innocent led to the statement at some point by Chazal that a Bezdin that killed one person in 70 years was considered a hanging Bezdin. Because you see, all of the laws have been stacked against finding him guilty. We also said by Din Nefashos, once a judge talks about facts that make him innocent, he can't go back to comment on things that would make the guy chayiv. That's if they're going back and forth among the dayanim and discussing it. And if he started off being melamed zchus, he cannot go back. Aval b'shas gemar din. But after there was masa umatan back and forth, and now they're voting on what the verdict's going to be. So the one who was melamed zchus, choyzer melamed choyva. Then Rav says he can go back and be melamed choyva. So the Gemara brings a stira to Rav Meisvei. Says Lomachras, the next day, after they've deliberated, Mashkimim, the judges wake up early, uboim, and come to court. I felt yesterday in the discussion that he was innocent. And after a night's sleep, I remained that way. The one who thought he was guilty the day before, the next morning stands and says, yeah, I still think he's guilty. But there were people who were melamed choyva the previous day. Now he could be melamed zchus. This Baraisa says, not like Rav, that even by Gemar Din, right? Rav wanted to say you can't go from innocent to guilty during Masa Umatan, but in Gemar Din you could. But here the Baraisa suggests that you can't. That the guy who thought he was innocent has to remain that way, right? V'olamachras is Gemar Din. It's not Masa Umatan. So the Gemara answers, Ula Tameich, the way you're evaluating Lemachras Masa Umatan Mileka, by the next day there's also Masa Umatan. And perhaps since by Masa Umatan, there is Masa Umatan by the next day. So Ki Ketani, when does it say that he can't go back? That's B'shas Mata Umatan. Like Rav wanted to say, but by Gemar Din he can go back. Toshma. Donun elu k'neged elu. We place one dayan against another ad sheyira echad min hamachayvin divrei mezakin, until one of the machayvin changed their mind to innocent. Now, the Emisa, if the Mezakir can change his mind to go chayiv, so listening nami ipcha. The Brisa should have said that they face each other until the mezaka changes his mind to be mechayiv. So Tana azchus komahader, but achoy v'lo komahader. The Brisa talks about switching to schus, but meikar adin you could go as someone who said it was mezaka can make him chayiv. Toshma. Da'am Rav Yosef bar Chanina. Echa ben Talmidim shezicha. There was a Talmud in the audience that felt that the litigant was innocent. Umeis. He dies. Now, when you start counting the votes, Roy and Oisoi ki'ilu chai, you can count him as one of the innocent votes. Ve'amai? Nema ilu havakaim adarbe. Maybe if he was alive, he would have changed his mind to chayiv. Hashta mila hadarbe. Yeah, but at this point, before he died, he didn't change his mind. They sent from Eretz Yisrael. Div Rabbi Yosef Chanina. Motza comes out, Michlal Rabbeinu, comes out that Rabbi Yosef is arguing with Rav. Ein Motza Itmar. We're not saying that they're not. We're saying that they are arguing with each other regarding this din. Toshma. We paskin that at the time of Gemar Din, the Malam Chus can go back and vote with the Mechayvim. Toshma. Shnei Soifrei Dayanim Oimdim Lifneim. There were two scribes among the judges. Echad Mayamin v'echad Asmol. One on the right, one on the left. The Koisvin Dever Mizakin v'Dever Mechayvim. They write the various arguments made by the ones that say he's innocent versus the ones that say he's chayiv. Now, Bishlam Divrei Chayvin, I understand why there was a need to write the arguments of those who were going to say the guy is guilty. Why? Because we want to read them the next day, so maybe people will change their mind. Or maybe they'll think of another reason to make him chayiv. And you're going to delay the din. So why do you have to write down the various arguments for why he's innocent? Isn't it lav mishum di chazu time achrin l'choy v'lo mishkachinam bei? We write it down to basically document it because we're going back to this notion that once you said innocent, you can't go back and make him chayiv. Look, that's not why we write down the reasons why he's innocent. Shlo yomru shnayim tam echad mishnei mikros. Because we don't want two of the dayanim to come up with the same reason from two different psukim. We wouldn't understand that two different psukim are giving us the same din. So they must have not understood the psukim properly. Two different dayanim come up with the same reasoning, but they have two different psukim. We only count them as one. Because it's clear that one of them is making a mistake. Now, how do we know this? Menanimili. That two psukim will not give you one tam. Amra Abaya, the Amra Kra, Achas tiber Elohim shtayim zu shamati ki oz Elohim. Which means Mikra Echad, which is the Achas Dvar Elohim, Yotze lekama ta'amim. One pasuk can be explained with two different svaros behind it. But ein tam echad yotze mikam mikros. But one svara doesn't come out from multiple psukim. Similarly, the Rabbi Yishmael Tana, It's a pasuk in Yirmiyah. Halakol divrei ka'esh num Hashem. The words of Hashem are like fire. Kekapatish yipotza sela. Like a hammer striking stone. Ma patish zeh mischalek lekametin tzotzos. You take a hammer and you pound a rock, you get sparks, many sparks. Af mikra echad yoytze lekamet ha'amim. One pasuk can be explained with different svaras. Now the Gemara wants, Heichi dami tam echad mishnei mikros. What do you mean, one tam from two psukim? Amar Azvid kiditnan. Mizbech mekadesh esaroilo. The altar sanctifies that which is roi to be put on the mizbech. For example, there's a certain korban that there's a certain psul, but initially it was roi lemizbech. It has kedusha, and you don't take it down from the mizbech. Rabbi Yeshua Aimer, a different statement. Kol haroi leishim. Anything that was appropriate to be put into fire, im Allah lo yerid. If it goes up on the mizbech, we don't take it down. Because it says in the pasuk, Zos Torah Sa'ola, Hi ha'oila al moikda al mizbech kol halayla ad haboker, veish ha-mizbech tu kadbo. Ma oila shehi ru'uya le'ishim. A korban ola we don't eat, we burn it completely. Therefore, im also lo seirad, so it fits the criteria of roy le'ishim. And therefore, if it went up on the mizbech, even we find some invalidation. You don't take it off. Av kolshu roy le'ishim im ala lo yerid. Rabbi Gamliel Omer kol haroy le'mizbeach, not just le'ishim, because there are things that are put on the mizbeach that are not completely burned. So it's a broader heter, im ala lo yerid, because it says hiya oila al magdam mizbeach ma oila shehi ro'i legabi mizbeach. It's not that the oila is roy le'ishim; it's roy to the mizbeach. We say im also lo yisei. Av kol shu roy le'mizbeach im also lo yisei. V'tarvayu my kamara marba. What are they both attempting to do with these drushes? Psulin. Certain psul of tumah, maybe it's not the right gender. And they both want to say that if these types of karbonos were put up in the mizbech, you don't take them down. Mar ma'isila mimoikda. One learns it from the part of the pasuk that said moikda. Umar ma'isila from the word mizbech. So two psukim are brought to teach me the same thing. So the Gemara rejects this. It's not comparable. V'hasa miflik pligi. There's a machlokes between Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua. It's not the same time. They're arguing. There's two shitos. Diktani seifa, ein bein divrei Rabbi Gamliel divrei Yeshua, ela hadam v'anesachim. Right? What's the nafkamina between the concept of roy le'ishim versus roy le'mizbech? Blood that is thrown on the mizbech, or wine libations. At Rabbi Gamliel Omer, on the dam and the nechasim, it's a broader heter. If there was, later on we find out that the dam or the wine was tamei. Im all lo yardu, if they had gone up already, we don't take them down, because they were both roy le'mizbech. But Rav Yeshua Omer yardu, because we don't put the dam or nesachim to burn on the mizbech. They're dumped on it. It's not leishim. So the Gemara rejected this example of one tam from two mikros. So steps into the breach, Rav Papa. El Rav Papa, I'll give you an example. Kidetanya. Rabbi Yosef Glili Orna. Mitoch shenemar kol hanogea b'miz. It says Vayam mizbeach kodesh kodashim. Kol hanogea b'mizbeach yigdash. I would think that therefore anything that touches it becomes hegdish. Whether bain roy, bain shein roy, whether the item could be a korban or not. Talmud loymar, the rest of the psukim says, v'zasher tasel mizbeach, kvasim b'nei shana shnayim liyom tamid. Now, why did the pasuk say that? Ma kvasim, kvasim are sheep. Ru'uyin, they are roy to be a korban, av kol roy. So what becomes hegdish if it touches the mizbech? Anything that's roy lekorban. If it's not roy lekorban, it doesn't become hegdish. Rabbi Kiva oimer, it says oila. Ma oila ru'uya, av kol ru'uya. So not the word keves, but oila. Oila is roy lemizbech, so it teaches us things have to be roy lemizbech. Tarvayu mai komama'atu. What are they both trying to exclude? Psule. Korbanos that are apostle. Mar maisi kvasim. One learns this din from kvasim. Umar maisi la ma'oila. So it's basically one halacha, one tam of being ma'id psulim from two different psukim. Again, the Gemara rejects it. It's not a good example. V'amar Avada Barava. That here's also machlokes tanoi regarding oila sa'oif psula ikibinai. One type of oila is a bird oil. Man de maisila mikvasim, the Tana that learned it from sheep and not from oila held, kvasim in animals, yes. Aval oila sa'oif birds, no. But man de maisila me oila fil oila sof nami. So again, it's not one tam from Shnei Mikros because it's machlokes tanoi. We need Rav Ashi to try to give us an example. On Rav Ashi, Kedetanya. It says in Pasuk, Vel Pesach Ol Moed Lo Yeviyu, La'akriv Korban L'Hashem, L'fnei Mishkan Hashem, Dam Yechashev La'isha Hu Dam Shafach, this is if you shecht, right, not in oil moed, you get chorus. But lerabos is a zoyrek. Even if you did zrika of dam kochim bachutz, you get chorus to Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Kiva omer ish mibnei Yisrael umenager asher yagur besocham asher yaleh ola ozavach. That pasuk comes lerabos es a zoyrek. V'tarvayu mai komar, but what are they both including in the din of bachutz? Mar maisilei midam yechoshev. One learns it from the fact that it says dam. Umar maisilei me ozavach. Ay v'amar avavo shochat v'zorak. Somebody took an animal and did shchita outside and did zrika outside. B'shogeg. Iki binari. L'div Rabbi Shmuel eno chai v'la'achas. You'd only bring one korban chatas. L'div Rabbi Kiva v'chai v'shtayim. Because there's two different isurim from two different psukim. So again, we have a machlokes, and therefore it's not two tamim. After div Rabbi Kiva nami eno chai v'la'achas. Even Rabbi Kiva only held you brought one chatas. To Amar Kra, Ki im b'makom asher yivchar Hashem b'echad shvatecha, sham talel osecha, b'sham ta'aseh kol asher anochi mitzaveka. Arvinu rachmana l'kulu asiyos. The Torah took all of the various positive actions as one ched. So really, they're not arguing. They're just in ba'alacha, just what's the makor. Okay, therefore, and you considered like 1 day, not 2 days. So we have no example of Teit Shtut Tamim. Then we said in the Mishnah Dine Mammon is done in Bayoim, Uvalayla. That monetary cases can be adjudicated day and night. Simin Mishpat Mane Mate. Menana Mili. Armav Chia Bar Papa Domer Kra. It says Vishavtu Esa'am Bechol Es. Yisro tells his son-in-law Moshe how to do courts, and he says you can adjudicate them all anytime. The choles implies both day, both night. So ihachi tchilas din nami. Now we know in other halachas that you can only start din daytime. Based on this pasuk of shavtus am b'choles, you should be able to do tchilas din at night too. So Kidder Rava, we answer like Rava. The Rava Rami. Rava showed a stirim psukim. Ksiv v'shavtu esa'am b'choles, which seems to imply even night. Uksiv haya b'yom anchilos banav, on the day that you come to adjudicate the inheritance of the children. That seems to imply that the dine of nachlois, which is in dine mominus, is adjudicated only in the daytime. We have a stirim psukim. One says night, one says day. Aketza. Yom l'tchilas din. You can only do tchilas din in the daytime. We come to be mar belayla ligmar din. And therefore masnisin is lo Rav Meir. Ditanya. Hi Rav Meir oimer. Ma tamud lemer val piem yeh kol riv v'chol noga. The mouth of the judges, every argument, riv, and every nega will be adjudicated through the mouths of the dayanim. L'chima inyan rivim etzel negoim. Rivim are monetary disputes between two people. So what does that have to do with nega? One is dinei maminis, and one is tumah v'tahara. Ella, mekish ribim l'negoim. We make a hekesh between disputes about money and questions about negoim. Ma negoim is elabiyom. A Kohen has to look at a nega and declare that it's either tomei or tohor. Dichsiv uviyom heraos bo basar chayitma. It has to see it in the daytime. Af ribim is bayot. So Rav Meir seems to hold, because of this comparison to negoim, that dinei mominus cannot be done at night. Similarly, ma negoim shelo b'sumin, a blind person cannot give a psak regarding a nega, because it says l'chol mare einei hakohen. Af ribim shelo b'sumin. So too, a judge adjudicating monetary cases cannot be blind. The halacha is a dayan who's blind in one eye is kosher, but a dayan who's blind in both eyes is pasul ladum. And a kohen who is blind even in one eye cannot paskin regarding the goy. Umekish negoim l'ribim. Monetary cases cannot be adjudicated shelo b'kroivim. Af negoim shelo b'kroivim. Relatives cannot be checked. The negoim cannot be checked by relatives. So we're making a lot of halachic decisions based on this hekesh. Why don't we continue and say, Ima ribim b'shloisha af negoim shloisha? Now, how do you settle a monetary dispute? Let's go to Besdin with 3 judges. So I might think that negoim would also require 3 judges. The truth is, it's not so. A Kohen who's a baki could do it by himself. And we could learn even of a kavachomer dinu. Mamoinoi, which is more lenient, nidin b'shloisha gufo, a din regarding somebody's body, which is l'chora more stringent, lo kol shekain that it should require 3. So we have a gzeres hakosuf, a pasuk. V'huva el Aaron HaKohen, o el echad mibanav. Halomada t'shafilu kohen echad roya es hanigo. Even a singular kohen can adjudicate the din of a nega. But from this price that we brought, we saw that you can't adjudicate monetary cases at night at all, even Gemar din. So our Mishnah doesn't hold like Rav Meir. We just brought this price in the name of Rav Meir. We just proved our Mishnah seemed to imply that the Gemar din of Mamonis could also be done at night. So the Gemara tried to say our Mishnah is not like Rav Meir. And that's how it blipes. There was a blind person who used to be a judge, and he would adjudicate cases. Rabbi Yochanan never said anything. So, how did Rav Yochanan halacha kastam Mishnah? And we learned kol kosher lodun, whoever is kosher to be a dayan, kosher laheid. Yesha kosher laheid, vein kosher lodun. There's some people that can serve as an aid, but not as a dayan. V'am Rav Yochanan la'asui suma b'achas meinav. That somebody blind in one eye can serve as a witness, but he can't serve as a dayan. That's like Rav Meir, who compares dinim to negoyim. So Rabbi Yochanan had a different stam mishnah, stam achrita ashkach. He found another stam mishnah. He relied on that to be machshir asuma be'echad beinav, which we said is the halacha, like Rav Yochanan. Dinei mamanas darim b'yom v'gorim b'layla. We said that monetary cases can be adjudicated in the daytime. You can do gemar din at night. And it seems that we don't make this comparison between Mamonis and the Goyim. My ulma the high stam and my stam. Why is that stam Mishnah Rabbi Yochanan found better than the other stam Mishnah? Why did he rely on that as the source? So Iboy same as stam de Rabbi Ma'ativ. Because there they paskin like the Rabbim, versus the other stam Mishnah where you're paskening like a Yochid. The boy same, I'll give you another answer. There, that Mishnah came where mamish, it's in the halachas of dinim. And the other one was the derech agav, it was thrown in. Rav Meir, who seemed to learn by the comparison of Mamonis to Negoim, that you could not adjudicate Mamonis at night. What about the pasuk? My darshbei. What does Rav Meir do with the pasuk, which seems to imply that you can adjudicate cases at any time? A cloudy day, even though on such a day you would not look at Negoim to paskin, you could do Mamonis cases. And we learned it. Ein ronas on Negoim, you don't look at Negoim Shachris, early morning, because the sun is not strong yet. Lo bein arba'im, not in the afternoon. You don't look at Negoim lo b'sach habayis, not in a house. The lo b'yom ha'unin, and not on a cloudy day. Keya nearest Azah, because a Keya will look very white. And you also don't do it v'lo b'tzar rayim. And then they Azah near a Keya will also change the color of the Negoim. Rather, you look at it when the light is sort of in the middle. Rav Meir b'yoman chilo is born of my avidlei. He already knows that mominous cases have to be done in the daytime from din of riv, of the hekesh between nega and momin. So what does he need the pasuk of biyom anchilo as bona for? Ahuma boyle, he needs it for the din of Rabbi Bar Chanina, Kamed Rav Nachman. It says vayah biyom anchilo as bona. Bayom atamapil nachlov, via tamapil nachlos pelalegi. They did a goyrel. They did a lottery for who got what piece of land. You only do that in the day, not at night. Omer elameata. I understand. Man de shachiv biyamama yarson le b'nei, uman de shachiv b'lay lo yarson le b'nei. But if someone dies in the daytime, then his sons will inherit. But if he dies at night, they won't inherit. Doesn't make any sense. Dilma din nachlas kamrit. It says the dinim of nachlas, like it says in the by dinei Yerush of Aisal b'nei Yisrael l'chukas mishpat. Oira kol aparsha kula liyois din. You have to follow all the various chukim and dinim it relies to mishpat. Rav Yudam Rav, Dam Rav Yudam Rav, shloisha shenichtzu levaker sachoyla. 3 people go in to visit a sick person. He's about to die. And the dying person commands them to leave one of his assets, Yerusha, to somebody. Ratzu koisvin. If they want, they could write it down like Eidim. Ratzu oisadin. There's 3 of them, they could be a Bezdin. They could write a Maisa Bezdin. That's if there were 3 of them. If there's 2 of them, Shnayim, koisvin. You can only write as Eidim. Venois and din. All of these dinim that we just said has to do when he visited him in the daytime. Aval balayla koisvin venois and din. They can only write it as Eidim, not din, even if there were 3 of them. Mishum dahavaluk Eidim. They were certainly Eidim. Ve'ein Eid nasa dayan. Eid cannot become a dayan. And they cannot serve as judges because it's nighttime. It's not the right time to do din. Armalei in Hachi Kamina. This is exactly the covenant of the Bryce that we were talking about. Okay, now we're going to talk about din and nefashos. We'll do this tomorrow. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, will be Daf Yomi. And 8 o'clock will be Tzurba.
Hold on.
Okay.
I got- yeah.